That'll probably do. Man, I feel great.
It doesn't sound great.
It's a tea morning. We're going to be spilling it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
I just love fucking...
I don't really understand where that term comes from. Spill the tea.
Ooh, should we do internet research?
Yes, while recording this, we should start our research process.
Where did spill the tea come from? Originated in black drag culture. Jeff, you knew that.
Oh,
where tea is slang for gossip or juicy information.
Well, that
Essentially
doesn't even
meaning
tell
to
us
reveal
anything.
a secret. Have roots in African American vernacular English and gain widespread popularity through shows like RuPaul's Drag Race. Nice pretend there, Jeff. Nice swerve.
I don't understand.
I have no idea where Spill the Tea came from, you
That doesn't
guys.
tell me why it's
no idea.
why it is what it is. It says where it came from. It doesn't say why it came from.
Well, you could serve the tea. Spilling it's better because it's all over the place, you know. Get it all out there on the table.
Nope. But anyway,
You know.
the tea will be spilt. Hopefully at some point.
Tea bag. I'm sure there was tea bagging on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh boy. Well, that's obviously the terminology came from. See, but
Play a lot of Call of
the
Duty.
act of teabagging in video game culture, it makes sense because you're dropping the bag like that. That has logical roots.
I think. Did that come from Halo? Was that the first iteration of teabagging?
Yeah, I don't think any one of us were spinning around on one bended knee in GoldenEye and proclaiming that we were teabagging anyone. I don't think that's how it happened.
Yeah. Maybe his odd job. Get close.
So this episode's all about tea.
Yeah.
Tea for the...
Fuck. I'm here, man. I've been fighting this sickness so good. I feel like I've been a warrior. I'm literally a warrior. That's the literal word of the literal.
And why do you figuratively call yourself a warrior?
Because I've been going to work.
Wow.
Doing the whole thing.
What?
And spreading it to everybody.
I knew that's all that this was boiling down to, was whether or not you missed work. Some would call me a modern day hero for going to work when I have the sickies.
And I don't know. Part of it's like, it's been sort of fun not fun. I hate it. It's the worst, but I've been able to manage it enough so that when I'm driving to work, when I'm at work, I kind of just feel drunk all day because I have just like, it's in there and I'm just like sort of zoning out the whole time, and it's okay. I can just do that. Nobody cares because I'm sort of sick and I could just be in this other world and, do work sort of. And like, it's a nice barrier from real life as being sick. I don't know why. It grants you some kind of like release from the pressures of being a normal person, I guess. I don't know. Because
two aspects. Societally, no one expects anything from you if they know you're sick. There's zero expectations of you. And you are, oftentimes you're applauded for like coming to work and making it work. Now, that being said, some people are like, why are you at work? Stop getting everyone else sick. Go home. But there's the societal pressures are gone, but also your own, because you have something that's happening right now to concern yourself with. So all the other things that are hypotheticals, anxious, driven, and stuff like that, you put those on the back burner because something's happening right now. And so, like, yeah, you're only focused on not dying. Like, in the grandiose scheme of things, it's like, I don't feel well and I want to feel better. And that's my focus right now, is either waiting this thing out or doing things to actively feel better. And so you take the pressure off yourself because you're just like, I can't think about, money and life and all of this. I don't feel great. And so you focus on that. So
yeah,
you're
I know.
right.
I just gotta take care of me.
Yeah, being sick is the closest thing we have to like dreaming.
I'm just kidding. High bar.
Is it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this. Age of
And I haven't like gone to the gym either, but I also, you don't put your pressure on yourself for that. It's like, you know what, just go home, have some food, just, watch a game, play a game, watch a show, watch a movie, just take care of you. So it balances
well.
like, because I don't feel great like not having some physical activity, but the balance of no pressure to do it equals it out. So it's like, it's sort of
Right.
some kind of like mathing.
Right. You have to be consciously appreciative of the reason why you aren't going to the gym to make sure that it works. Like you have to remind yourself, I'm not going to the gym because I'm focusing on this, not because I just didn't feel like going to the gym. It's because I'm focusing on something else. This is simply a conflict that came up, and conflicts arise all the time.
I'm on a wellness journey. And plus NyQuil. I haven't done it in a long time. I actually used to have like an aversion to it because I think definitely in the years where I've had some definite nighttime anxiety when you wake up and like have that midnight 2 a.m. anxiety about whatever. The NyQuil situations never helped. Like if I took any, because you'd wake up and you'd be in that half sleep, half awake, like you just need some kind of weird place, and then your mind is really spiraling, like just real crazy combinations of dreams and realities, and it doesn't help. But it did this week. And you know what? I might just start being a recreational NyQuiler.
Nope.
Dude, the sleep
Nope.
is great. When you wake up at like 3, you just go right back to sleep. It's so fun.
Yeah, I never like growing up and stuff. I never like was NyQuil. Take cough medicine and stuff, but never took NyQuil. And I honestly think the first time I took it was my sophomore year of college. I was sick. Actually ended up having mono, and my roommate
Yeesh.
always kept NyQuil on hand because he he did develop an aversion to it and like consistently drank NyQuil. But he gave me some, and I remember the first time I took it, I'm just like, I woke up the next day, like 10 hours later, I'm like, what was that? I'm like, what was this magical deep level of sleep that I had? So I'm like, I'm not going to ruin this for me. I'm only going to use this, like, this is going to be a break glass in case of emergency thing. So not even every time I'm sick, but it's like when I need the night sleep, it's like, oh, it's like 7 p.m. and you take that hit of NyQuil and you're like, all right, man, do your magic. And you're like, I don't have to technically be awake till 7 a.m. And so you're just like, if we log 11 hours, that's what it's going to be. So yeah, I have a very good relationship and a respect for NyQuil and what it's able to do.
It sucks if you can't fall asleep right away, because in my mind, I'm like, I'll be out within an hour. I'm going to put this movie on and apparently watch the whole thing. Oh, shit. Now I'm like up, and now my mind is all over the place. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
man.
is
Well,
getting
it's a
real
movie.
weird here.
I think you respect the concept of the movie too much, and so like you don't realize you're overriding the NyQuil. I think what you got to do is things like sleep or like listen to something.
Go to
you
sleep.
Have to you have to
Yeah.
put the effort in to let NyQuil run its course and knock you out.
It's true. It did work. But here we are. What a dreadful week for upstate New York. That's part of it. Is I think everything's been so crappy that it's come full circle to where I've just accepted it, and like I've survived it. Like the snow, and like every day, like I'm over it. I'm just fucking, I can't. Every day I walk out to my car and I wipe off the snow, brush it off, warm up the car every goddamn day this week. Not only that, I ate shit for the first time this winter on ice that was hidden under snow in the driveway.
Oh,
It's
no.
my La Croix cans went flying all over the fucking driveway.
Oh, you
I had
were
to go pick them
carrying
up.
things?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
It was, and then but there's just snowbanks everywhere. It will not stop snowing, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop into March. I haven't seen grass in weeks. It sucks, and it's at that point where it's just I'm in the hysterics of it right now. Just how funny it is, how depressing it is, how gray it is. I am using my light box at work to have that artificial sunlight, but it's just every morning I curse it. I hate it. I'm like, why am I here? Why does anybody live here? Why do any of us live north of like North Carolina? I don't understand it. There's no way to live. No way for a human being to live. I won't do it again. And I'm gonna really reconsider this in 5 years. I swear to God, I will.
I swear to God. I swear to God. So this fall, did this happen at the store or at home?
No, at home. Yeah.
Home?
So I'm sure my landlord has it on camera, but has not acknowledged it. Actually, the next day he texted me. I was like, "Hey, careful! There's ice in the driveway under the snow. So watch." I was like,
Yes.
I know. So he must have.
Dude, he saw it. He was watching it.
Yeah. It's
He
like,
was
don't
watching
sue
it
me.
live. Man, that's so good. Like, was it like? I'm I'm not even sure I want details because I'm imagining it like you getting out of the car and like slipping hilariously and like the cans just like lunge out of your hands.
Kind of. He had the reusable grocery bag in the passenger seat, so I get out holding it, bringing it across my chest in the wheel, between the steering wheel, get out with my left foot, step down, step up, whoop, just like fall out of the car onto the ground, and then just like goes flying. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And what day was this? What day of the week was this?
Monday.
Oh.
So that was the worst of the snow days. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Then I got sick on
man.
Tuesday. And then the snow
has
just
been
kept
a good
coming.
week.
And but good news, upstate New Yorkers. The talk around town on Friday was it's going to be 40 on Monday. Whoa, that's the joys, the little joys, the little battles we win up here.
Yeah. We're hitting 50s this week.
Do you know of winter? Speaking of, when I was in Boston, they probably have these in Philly. I became aware of a brand that I've never seen before of winter coat. Before I say it, do you know what it is?
A newer brand of winter coat?
I don't know how new it is, but I just became aware of it, and now I can't unsee it. And apparently they're like $1,500, $2,000 jackets.
Yeah, I know nothing about that then. What is
Okay,
it?
I didn't either. So Jordan and I are walking through Boston, and he's like, "Oh, there's a Canada Goose jacket," and I was like, "Oh, like it's made of Canada gooses." I don't know. So it's like a winter coat. You wouldn't know. It just looks like a black winter coat, maybe down just past the buttocks. A hood with like a big fluffy, like furry thing around it. It's black and just has a little patch, little red and blue patch that says Canada Goose on it. And because of that, everybody who's anybody has it. And you can tell all the rich kids in Boston had them. All the college kids have like $2,000 jackets. And I was like, I've never seen it. And he's like, now you won't unsee it. So I swear, like when we were walking around town, like every third person, mostly like college girls have them. So it's definitely like rich kid shit to have those jackets. But now I saw a few people in Auburn have them. I'm like, that's the one you see the random Cybertruck in Auburn, or like one of those types of deals, or a Lamborghini here and there, and you're like, who has this money? Who's spending this? Because it's just like one of those things. It's like it's just a piece, you know. And I used to think, I think I spend a lot of money on like my Columbia or North Face jacket for like $200-$300, a functional jacket. And you're looking these up, I can see it in your face, right?
So like, what's amazing is that the website is actually like no frills. Like you go to the website and it's just people standing in jackets, and then simple price tags under them of like $14.75, $13.95, $16.75, $27.95 for the Sea Mantra parka. And you want to know what the temperatures it's rated for? 5
What's that?
to 32 Fahrenheit. That's not even good. 5 degrees to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're telling me
I'm
it's
joking.
That's ridiculous.
It's a light winter jacket for $2,800.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
People
but
are stupid,
everybody
man.
who's anybody's
People
got
are
one.
Fucking stupid. No. Any jack off that has one, it bothers me. It legitimately angers me because you are paying 800% markup for something that's just not like. It's not even like the jackets look good. It's something started this momentum where like it's all about just being able to say that that's the company that made it. That company could literally make jackets right now with poo smeared on them, and people would pay $7,000 for
Yeah,
it because
goose shit.
it's just it doesn't matter. Like so, it's completely illogical because you aren't getting that for a product of like excellence or anything. Yeah, like all
Here,
of
I'll
it.
pull up a
It's
pic.
none of it makes
so the
sense.
people can see.
It's just status stuff and nothing more.
Because yeah, they're very unassuming, I guess, except for this is what you want. See, well, I just want to show this because this has this is the logo you want. This Canada Goose, and it's got that red and blue logo. That's what you're hunting for. You want that. Most of the jackets kind of look like this dude, and it's just like right there, right on the left arm. So just a simple parka for $1,600. Very sensible. I'm telling you, once you see one, you will never unsee them. It's amazing how many people have spent that much money on this. It's kind of like, I remember in my early Austin years, the late zeros, the early tens, like sorority girls wore these like one particular style of soccer short kind of thing. And it was like sort of like double lines on the other. They were like sort of like a newer version of Umbro shorts, but they all sort of looked the same. And I was like, that's crazy how everybody wears the exact same shorts all the time to everywhere, to everything. And this is that, but plus $1,500 more. That's like, wow, we've really advanced. Inflation is wild. But hey,
Right.
Canada's got the last laugh, I guess.
Whatever. That's frustrating.
And I know it's like, especially being in Boston, which is definitely a rich kid's town. And all these kids that go to Boston schools are all rich kids. You know, they got them for Christmas, but it wasn't like their only big gift. It was like, what do you want for Christmas, Blayton? I don't know. Well, obviously, the Canada Goose jacket, that's like, I need that. But then, like, but I want like a PS5. Yeah. And a snowmobile. But It's like one of those.
PS5,
It's,
are you
it's definitely a
kidding me?
throwaway piece. It's like that's their Christmas jammies is a $2,000
PS5
jacket.
he got with his allowance that
before.
week. Oh boy, did I lose audio?
Oh, hello.
Oh boy,
It got low.
I can't hear you.
Hello. Check one.
Can you hear
Hello.
me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you? All right, there. Now I can hear you.
Yes.
That was
All
weird.
right.
I have no idea what happened there.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Hey, sure, brother.
Rip. Rip to Biff Whiff. Surprised Kalila didn't have that one.
Really?
Our buddy who's on the top of all major celebrity deaths did not have Biff Whiff, the Shirt Brother. Died this week. Very
did he?
sad. Mm-hmm. That's his real name, I guess.
no.
Biff Whiff. I don't know. Yeah.
Gary
So
Crotty,
yeah, a
known
truly
professionally
difficult
as
week for
Biff
all of
Whiff.
us.
Boy, it's tough.
Did
So
Did you watch the? I was just thinking of sketches. I was thinking of SNL again because we touched on it last week. Did you watch the SNL in
I
its
did.
entirety?
I didn't watch it Sunday. I watched it the next day on the Pea-cock, and I liked it. I think it went well. About as expected of a good showing. Nothing blew me away.
I did too.
But
I really
liked
liked it. Yeah. They did a good job of like, I think incorporating some of the newer stuff with the older stuff, and like I think trying to stay true to what it was without being too, I don't know, member berries about it. There was a couple things that maybe were too like remember this, but I think they really tried. And like I was, even though it was really long, I was like I could go for more. I was really enjoying it. It was very solid, and they even had they had a Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy.
I know.
On there.
That's wild. That's wild. Like,
and he got mentioned in
good.
Adam Sandler's song.
Yeah, that's good. The Adam Sandler song was like really, really well done. I thought the Sandler part was excellent. Yeah, multiple tributes to like Norm, Farley. Surprised they didn't go a little harder with Gilda Radner, but yeah, no, it was good.
It would have been cool, kind of, if they had everybody from the first cast come out at the beginning, to do that opening.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't. I wonder if they didn't do it because Aykroyd wasn't there, so it would have felt too much of a gap.
Yeah, and Chevy was like barely. I mean, he was there at the end.
He popped up at the end, but didn't even really talk.
Yeah. Was there anybody in the crowd that you noticed that was either surprising or?
I don't know, surprising, but that was
weird or
absolutely
anything?
the thing that I did. Is like every time they were showing the crowd, I'm like, oh, who can identify that just has no part in it? They're just watching it. Yeah, I think
Like
I
some
was
of the
surprised
famous,
that, like,
obviously, like who's that?
I was gonna say Seth Rogen I saw, but I was surprised that like he'd had zero involvement, which I'm fine with. I think I'm kind of I'll watch the classic Seth Rogen stuff, but I don't think if Seth Rogen never releases anything ever again, I'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a good oeuvre that exists.
The Galifianakis with Keith Richards' scarf was actually, that part was really funny.
I thought it was cool that he was there, like, because he wasn't a cast member, but he could have been, I'm sure, in a way. But like, it's cool because there was definitely like funny people there that weren't even part of like the sketches, and then just people you had no idea. Like, I don't know what's her name, the babe, my celebrity wife, Anya Taylor Joy or Taylor Anya, whatever, that girl.
Oh, was she there?
Yeah, she was in the crowd. And I was like, I don't know, she's a great actress. She's a babe. She is Furiosa, etc. And the Menu, and the Queen's Gambit, and a bunch of shit. And the future ex-Mrs. Jones, as Ian Malcolm would say. But
most importantly, Split.
What was that?
Most importantly, the movie Split.
She was in that. Oh my god.
With James McAvoy, yeah. Before she was famous,
that was before she. Yeah, I was gonna say that was before I realized it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the opening with, like, I don't want you to take personal offense, but I thought the opening with Sabrina Carpenter I'm like, did we need to open like this? It was long and it felt forced. Like, it was possibly the worst part of the show. It wasn't good.
I do take offense.
Good.
My espresso takes expense.
Okay. God, Jesus. Yeah, it felt like it dragged and it felt like it was out of place. And I honestly, it sounds very rude, but it's like, I know you have to like reaffirm that you are still up on current pop culture, but it felt like it was too forced. I need a little bit more guaranteed from someone.
I think they could have done maybe, if you're gonna go pop star, I say go Lady Gaga, because I think she's more timeless, can act, more established, and will be around. Like, Sabrina is such an of the moment person, and maybe she'll be around for a long time. I don't begrudge her anything or any of her success, but you can tell this is her peak for sure, like mainstream wise.
Right.
And I'm saying, I mean, obviously she has a lot of success with all of her fans. She does very well, gets number ones, whatever that means in billboards these days. But in terms of like mainstream,
in a decade, is it going to be all in the past?
Yeah, but you're right. That is such a Lauren thing too. I think to be like, we're gonna merge the classic who I've depended on my whole life with who's hot right now, like, and put our finger on that pulse. Yeah,
like Paul Simon is the musical guest for SNL, like the quintessential classic guy.
Mm-hmm. I thought the musical that they did, Lil Wayne, seemed relevant in terms of like the scope of SNL's time and kind of like where they go with music. And I thought his performance was good. And then Paul McCartney at the end to like close it out, that was pretty wild. I didn't expect that. And you know what? I had a dreadful thought during it.
What?
It was terrifying in the scope of time. I had to write it down. Because I looked up, like, how old is he? And do you know how old Paul McCartney is? Yeah.
I would say, hold on, 83.
It's 82. Very good. But I did the math, and by a hair, I've been alive for most of Paul McCartney's life. And I was like, oh. I was like, shoot.
Yes,
like,
technically that's true. Paul McCartney Paul
I
McCartney
was
has
like,
lived in
God damn. I was like,
in a Matt Jones-filled world more than not Matt
Yeah.
Jones world.
yes, yeah. I was like, oh no. I was like, because I was watching him out there, like, I was like, he can still, he can move and he's singing, and I was like, he's got to be old, wait, 80s, right? But he seems like he's in his 70s, easy. And I was like, oh no. I was like, I've been alive for most of whatever he's done in his life. I've been there for it. That's crazy. I don't like that.
That's a weird concept.
That's hard to think about. So then,
Which
the
is
last
wild because
20
then-
minutes of the show, I was...
Yeah. Matt was in a deep, like, researching haze in a, like, confusion,
Yeah.
like, quantum time vortex that he couldn't get out of. One really good skit I liked was, I can't remember the character's name, but when Kenan Thompson does the Scared Straight program and Eddie Murphy was doing it with him. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Because I always loved Kenan doing it, and even though it's a small ad, it's Jason Sudeikis being the prison guard running it.
Such a great straight
when he
man,
would pump
yeah.
the brakes on him, and just being like, hey, knock it off. Whoa, too much. Oh, I did. And Eddie Murphy
At the end, he just like jumps up onto the
that.
desk.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, because that could have gone weird directions, but I think it was well done because they brought in obviously the Will Ferrell. That was an echo to his 9/11 shorts or whatever, sort of like the very short shorts. Especially combined with Eddie Murphy, who, in a way, oh no, my camera's fucking up. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh boy.
To do a Mike Myers.
Run Camera Hub to use Elgato virtual camera. Yes.
Come on, baby.
Boy, Camera Hub.
I may have to unplug this and unplug it again. Hold on. I mean, we can still talk. We can still talk shop.
I mean, right. I was going to say, if you unplug your camera, I don't think any of us are going to really worry about it, because if you're watching right now, folks, Matt has turned into just a graphic telling him that something's wrong. And now I don't understand why, but there's also a reverse of the text, please run Camera Hub to use Elgato virtual camera. So I guess if you're watching this with the mirror effect, you'll also be able to read this.
Oh, but from my side, I can see it right.
I mean, but
That's not
I can
true.
see
It's
both.
backwards.
So yeah, okay. Well,
It's backwards for all of us.
in
Come
addition
on, baby,
to,
lady luck.
to SNL, I thought you recommended this, but a little back, maybe back.
Just trying. Oh wow, I look like a psychopath.
It's terrible, folks.
Please,
Matt has
please stop being frozen.
a
Please stop
frozen
being
image
frozen.
of. Oh, there it goes. All right. There we go. All right. So, did you recommend AP Bio to me?
I did. We talked about it last week, I think.
Okay, that's what I thought. I binged. I'm not usually one that can pick up and binge while working. but I watched all of AP Bio this week, all 4 seasons, which I
You
believe is
did? Holy fuck!
about 40 episodes over the course of 5
Yeah, I'm one
days.
season in. Jeez,
I liked it. I liked it a lot. And
Isn't it?
somewhere around season 3, they start getting a little bit more, I think, realizing. So for those people that don't know, very short synopsis is a guy who's a Harvard grad is trying to get in to be a Harvard professor, and that's his goal. But in the interim, he moves into his recently deceased mother's house in Toledo, Ohio, and basically takes a job as a biology teacher, but has no intention of teaching them biology. And his main goal in life is to get revenge on people. And so he basically helps. He has his students, who are all advanced placement smart kids, help him get revenge on people.
even though they
Obviously,
really
it's
want to
a-
learn biology.
Although many of them really want to learn
They're
learn
nerds, yeah.
biology. So it's a cast of like 5 adults. Patton Oswalt is the principal. Glenn Howerton is the main character, and there's a couple other adults. But then it's mostly a child cast of mostly people you haven't seen before. But one positive thing, the kids casted in it, and the kids are written well. They're not obnoxious and stuff like that. They're actually very well done characters, which is important because anytime you have a focus on kids, you leave way too much open to just shitty, lazy writing, and this isn't. But somewhere in season 3, they go, okay, it's really hard for us to just keep finding people for him to get revenge on. So they get more creative with the writing. And at first I'm like, oh boy, is this already starting to jump the shark? But it's not. It's just it's growing in what it allows itself to do, and I actually enjoyed it. So season 3 and 4 are wild. A big thing I like about this show, and because it's stuff that stands out to me, much like the Goldbergs did for a recent show, is the soundtrack. The songs they select to put in this show are actually very up my alley. They do a lot of like old school punk. They have Patton Oswalt keeps mentioning that he was in a ska band growing up
Yes.
called the Skank.
Yeah,
called
what's
the
it called
Skanky
again?
Doodles. The Skanky
Yeah,
Doodles.
that's right. Yeah.
So it's like it's so perfect because it's a stupid play on ska, working it into the name of the group. But then there's like an episode where they have like the specials playing and stuff like that. So they did an episode on like pro wrestling in season 3 or 4. So like this show is very fun, extremely easy to watch. So if you're looking for a show that could potentially become your next, I'm just going to throw it on in the background because I enjoy it and the dialogue's good, it's absolutely one of those shows.
Yeah, they do a good job of, I think, I've only through the first season, but of making like really funny moments. And what I like about it is they stay true to the characters are written out, they're fleshed out. And so they don't like have these episodes where somebody's doing something, it's like, this doesn't make sense. It all
character for
like
that.
comes together, like story-wise, narrative-wise, like it's all like still built in this world that is absurd, obviously, but makes sense within the absurdity of it, like.
Yeah.
So I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can say so like, I can say they do a good job with maintaining those characters' dispositions. Like the characters, right, don't drastically change. A couple of the students disappear after season 1 and then are filled in, backfilled with some people. I think that's just.
Oh, isn't that the
like,
joke? Like, I might have seen the
child
first
actors and
episode of
stuff.
season 2. Isn't there like, hey, who's that girl? She's like, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, and he's
Like
like,
some girl. It's like,
Yeah. So there's a couple, but most of them, I would say 80% of the students maintain the same. But yeah, a couple celebrity, or at least familiar faces, cameos and stuff that happened. Nikki Glazer was in one of the early episodes. What's it? Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello?
Yeah, he's in a later episode. I think season 4. So
Big D&D
yeah,
nerd.
I liked it a lot.
Oh, speaking of D&D, Hot Wreck, very surprising movie. And maybe because I have been playing Baldur's Gate, so I understand the world a little more. But there was a Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out a couple years ago with Chris Pine in it.
Yes.
I think it's called Honor Among Thieves.
Yes.
It's fantastic. It's really good.
I was subjected to it in the gym. There's like a cinema room in the gym where you can go on cardio equipment and just watch a movie that they play. They just loop all day. And I went once and watched like 45 minutes of it, and I'm like, ooh, this is pretty witty. Like, I'm like, this is like entertaining. So like, I probably will watch the whole movie sometime. But yeah, I was delightfully surprised. I'm like, and the problem is that movie would have no hope in the theater.
It's a very specific audience. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you could easily enjoy the movie knowing nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. The problem is if you're going to label it Dungeons and Dragons, you may actually be hindering the movie while you're trying to
should have just
market
called it Honor Among Thieves or something. Yeah, but there is like, my guess is there's like proprietary, because they reference Baldur's Gate in
So that's
in
why
the movie.
it's probably that it
And,
had
like,
to be, the tag had to be on it.
like races or whatever, different things. But because it has all the hallmarks of a good game too, and where they're building a party for something. There are stakes. There is there is a story. There is like different quests that
true,
they go
yeah.
on to like go to do this thing. But the funny parts are genuinely funny. They're like, I think a lot of action movies have like these kitschy little funny bits that after you see them the first time are like, it's almost like you could have called it what the joke would have been. It was like the first joke written. And these are like,
right.
I think it's a level up. Like, they're genuinely funny. It works with the characters. The magic-y dragon stuff. Like, there's a really fat dragon in it, and it's hilarious. Like, that chases them. It's a dragon that's been dormant for a long time. So instead of like, what is it from the Hobbit movie?
Smog or anything.
Smog. It's not like that. It's a fat dragon that's trying. It's rolling all over. It's sliding at him. It's so dumb, but it's hilarious. But the characters, I think, like the party itself, because of who they are and their stories, like it works out really well. So it was like genuinely, and like I think if you didn't know anything about D&D, which I mean I know a little bit, but then through gaming and stuff, it helps. Like it's just a good like fantasy, like adventure movie that has stakes and it's good. You know what? The other wreck. Did you ever see Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence?
I still have not watched it. No.
Okay. I don't know why I decided to watch it this week. I think it probably went to my algorithm because of what's going on in our country with science and the reinvention of it, or the exclusion of it and the destruction of it for capital gains, and like kind of the politicizing of science and what it is. There's a lot of like, I do my own research crowd out there that, is very against science. And we're seeing like a lot of scientists and health professionals and educated folks get laid off or fired by the government, which will be a total detriment to the public health sector. And we will see that. It will happen. And we'll all wonder why, except we won't wonder why, because we'll know exactly why. As other billions of dollars are being siphoned off to people that currently work for the government. Weird. It's a weird thing. I don't understand how it all works. It's crazy how this is all happening right in the open. But it is like Adam McKay wrote it. I didn't realize that. But it's
that's why I want to watch.
Play.
That's why I'll absolutely see it, just because it's Adam McKay movie.
But and the acting's great, and it's obviously a take on a scientific discovery that gets politicized or has to filter its way through social media or the news cycle and all of the, I guess, the pillars of our society right now, and how does it happen, and what is the end result? The ending's great. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But it's worth a watch, particularly in the scope of what's happening. It's equally angering and enjoyable, and it's cathartic to folks, I think, who might be, it's sort of like in the vein of like an Idiocracy type deal, where it's like, oh, this sucks, and it's like,
Idiocracy. All right, so that's one thing. I don't know if we already touched on this, but I did see Idiocracy finally, like, probably within the last year. It is not as good as everyone acts like it is. Like, oh my God,
I don't think it was
exactly what's happening. I'm like, this isn't that good. I'm like, this isn't even a top Mike Judge thing. I'm like, in any way, shape, or form. I'm like, this is an Office Space.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that good. It was
It's a better
mildly
concept than an actual movie.
Yes. Someone could, if someone wanted to take the time and actually write it a little bit with a little bit more effort and not so zany, it could have been great concept, just not that great execution. So I just wanted to get that out there. Not as good as what people advertised.
I saw when I was just thinking of I did my own research thing. For some reason, I've been seeing a lot of, it made me think of this because I was, whatever, for whatever reason. But you know what kind of commercial I hate right now? It's on usually on YouTube, but I saw it yesterday. I was working and we were eating lunch and watching like a college basketball game or something. And on regular TV, there was this commercial. And a lot of commercials do this thing now where they pretend that the person is on a podcast talking about this product. And it's like my least favorite. It's such a terrible, like, I fucking hate it format for like a commercial where it's like, yeah, bro, no, you never heard of this? Yeah, no, like, yeah, no, if you do have toe fungus and it goes across your whole toe, like, this is bro, you haven't heard of this? Like, this stuff's like everywhere now, dude. You gotta try it. And it's like for the lamest. I'm like, this is the worst podcast that ever existed. If people are actually talking about this product, and that's all it is. Like, it's the number one. Like, again, like the Canada Goose jacket. You won't unsee this format if you start to notice it.
It's because it's the older person who thinks that that's an actual podcast that happened. It's like, wow, there are podcasts about this. Like, it's tricking someone. It's just stupid otherwise. Yeah, dude, advertising's so lazy in general. It's so lazy. Like, I don't know. It's, unless you're telling me exactly what your product does or using comedy, don't try. Don't try. Either I want you to blatantly tell me everything that your product does, and I don't need any visuals or anything like that unless it's showing me what the product does. Looking at you, medical field. And actually, I don't want medical commercials at all, but digress. Or comedy. Make me laugh. Make me laugh. Not chuckle, not chortle, not like tell me a dad joke, like, you know, don't be like, don't be taking like a bunch of people dancing and being like, dish is how we do it, dish is how we do it,
Dish.
or like
Dish is how we do it.
Dish Network with all the people dancing, or right, Scoop, there it is, with tag team making ice cream. Like, stop doing that. That's not funny. Like, be comedic. Like Tostinos. Tostinos killed it. Tostinos went, oh, you think you should leave? We're going to make an episode, a skit about you think you should leave. I think you should leave, but just about Tostinos, but not really anything having to do with Tostinos. That's a commercial.
Wait, what was that one? Am I brain farting this?
Yes, because it's the alien, where the doors shut on the alien, and Sam and Tim are there. They're like, oh, boy. Oh, yep, he's dead. He's definitely dead. It was a Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, you know what? Probably because I was at the bar for half of it. I couldn't really hear it.
Oh.
I was not really in tune to the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, I haven't seen it played again. Oh, yeah.
No. I want live reaction. Go to YouTube.
You want me
and
to
see
pull
if
it
you
up?
can pull up the Tostinos commercial, because you don't need much of a visual. All you have to know is that
Like the pizza rolls,
like,
right?
yes. It's like an alien going back to his hometown, his home planet, and as the alien ship doors shut, it shuts on the alien. And that's the entire, and then the rest is just dialogue.
Okay, let me pull this up.
It's got to be pretty readily available.
Chasmo finally goes, oh.
Yeah, Chasmo.
All right.
Chasmo is the alien.
All right. Let's share this. Let's make sure everybody gets to see this.
Indeed.
Thank you for sharing your Totino's pizza rolls.
No problem.
We'll miss you, Jasmo.
I'll miss you too. They're the most snackable pizza there is.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, that's just a part of life.
Rest in peace, Jasmo.
We didn't know him as well as you, so it's not as sad for us.
Not that we didn't want to.
Just didn't open up around us.
Totino's Pizza Rolls, the most snackable pizza in the universe.
Oh, fuck, that's good. That's good.
I just love that the girl screams like terrified. Oh, that's just a part of life, which also doesn't make
Dude,
any sense.
the Detroiters got their commercial. Got their Super Bowl commercial.
That's true. That's true. That's more of a Detroiters concept than I think you should leave.
Wow, that's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, advertising now is tough because people. I think advertising needs to go more on dialogue and less on visual, because think of like what you're subjecting everything to is people are less likely to watch your ads, but they'll hear your ads because they're on their phone during a commercial break. So I think advertisers need to realize like the visual isn't necessarily what's important these days. You have to be better at just describing what your product is using voiceover and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, advertising is annoying.
Like on a podcast, like on a fake podcast.
Dude, listen, I challenge any listener to go to FM or XM radio and listen to commercial breaks. They are so fucking bad. I can't believe someone is getting paid money to make these ads.
Are they different than like podcast
They're so
commercials?
horrible. Yeah, they're worse. Podcast commercials at least are like describing a product and stuff. Like, dude, like FM and XM radio ads are so bad. They're so bad. I mean, podcasts, everything is basically BetterHelp. BetterHelp, I think, is sponsoring everything under the sun.
Dude, I heard one.
Go ahead.
I heard a podcast series one of them the other day, and it did a BetterHelp, and then right after, it goes, "Hey guys, check out AutoBlow," and I was like, "That's funny. That sounds like a blowjob thing, AutoBlow." And he goes, "It's the portable device that sucks you off, basically." And it was like, "Oh, it is. It's a it's a blowjob machine." That's what it is. And it was just on like a podcast as a commercial. I was like, use code whatever for 15% off AutoBlow for purchase. And I was like, wow. Like, would it be depressing to see how many of your listeners used your code to get AutoBlow? Like, it's like, they know, it's like.
Jizz, like cum shot.
It is like,
Right.
Wow, never done better. Most of our folks want AutoBlow. And for research sake, I did look it up.
Okay,
And so
sure, for research sake.
It's too mechanical. I was like, I didn't know what I expected, because I know of like, everybody knows about the flashlight. Mm-hmm. It's a flashlight with a vagina or a mouth,
right,
or a butthole, and you can just swap them out, I guess. Still don't have one in my life. Birthday's coming up. Wink. But
they don't appear discreet. So I like that you're like, you can just pull it out, whatever. Like, it's like you're in the movie theater, you're shopping, whatever you feel like doing. It's like, well, no, I don't think it's like that.
But this thing is like, there's two models. There's one that looks like a fucking, I don't even know. Like, it looks like a flashlight, but with an added, like 80s cell phone on it. So it's like gigantic. And I guess you just got to hold it and it just does the work. I don't understand but they have like VR glasses. So it's like, it's synced up to your favorite VR porn sites. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. And guess how much that thing is?
Ooh.
I still don't understand how you maneuver it. It seems like you need a stand or something for it.
$300.
Basically. But, 15% discount. Use code Strangers Familiar.
Sure.
And then they have another one that looks like a vacuum from the 60s. And it looks like, or a breathing apparatus. It looks like you're in hospice. It's got this stand, and then it's got a hose on it, and then you like put it on. And that thing is fucking like, I forgot how much it was.
It's supposed to like blow me or like cure my sleep apnea.
Yeah. It certainly does suck. But I swear it was like $9,000. I'm not even kidding. Like it was.
Wow.
It's like something. It's something insane like that. Yeah. So
Incredible.
wow, we've come a long way. At that point, just buy the full robot. Get the whole girlfriend experience. Might as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a heck of an investment. Like you have to like really like plan and save. You have to make that separate savings account for that type of purchase. Make the little thermometer goal chart in your living room, and you build to it as you add money to that account. Friends come over and they're like, "What are you saving for? Some sort of vacation?" You're like, "Oh, it'll be a vacation, all right."
Yeah, a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the
Got
lazy man's version of saving.
Virginity. It's like, I can't come out of it's chronic. Got chronic boner syndrome. It needs to be healed. See, that's just enough of a meme to like you could probably do it. You could probably make it work if it caught on Reddit. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What's to look forward to, Jeff?
So,
what's up in your future?
Trying to see about getting down to Florida for some baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully in the next few weeks. So that
we didn't talk about the
on
big
horizon.
elephant in the room, the big Yankees news. Why don't you tell everybody?
Oh my God. All right, folks. Amending like a 50-year rule, the Yankees organization is allowing facial hair. Well-groomed beards. I know. No longer are you restrained to just a beautiful mustache. The Yankees are allowing their players to grow naturally grown hair on their face, permitting it's well-groomed.
Sports fans, baseball fans probably know that, but I bet there's a lot of regular folks that are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And yes, it's true. For decades and decades, New York Yankees players were not allowed to have more than a mustache. Even did they have a limit on sideburn length even? I don't know.
Yes.
Was that a thing?
Yes.
Like Jason Giambi couldn't have his full sideburns and goatee or something back in the day?
Couldn't do like mutton chops. Yeah. So
who do you think it hurt the most?
We're supposed to give it
in Yankees history.
Ooh. Johnny Damon's the one that stands out the most.
Yeah, because he had the caveman.
He went from baseball Jesus, like with the big bushy beard, long hair and a bushy beard, and then showed up with short hair and no facial hair. That was pretty weird.
Yeah, he was basically a party boy. Comes from that fun Boston team that won because they fucking loved each other, had great locker room chemistry, and were like all about just fist bumps and partying and beards and long hair. And like, oh yeah, we want that guy. But none of that stuff. Don't bring that with you here.
Nope.
Just at bats and catching. That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, it's dumb because then I already get like push notifications that say like Aaron Judge has said he will not grow a beard. I'm like, oh my God, is this what we're getting push notifications for now? I'm like,
what a hot update.
That someone's not growing facial hair. I'm like, I would have been mad enough if you told me that he was going to grow a beard just because I don't need to know. But you're actually telling me that no change is happening and you're using that as a push notification. Yeah, I don't care. What I would like, the proper thing, of course, would be to have some studio, hopefully, will be going through, and you could even do this all season with one or two a game, maybe even one a game, is you just go, let's look at Yankees over the last 50 years and put delightfully comical facial hair on them and what it would look like if they had the facial hair. So like your Jeters, your A-Rods, stuff like that. That's where you go with this.
I found out I got a guy that I work with. I guess he gets the ESPN Yankee update, so it came during lunch. He's like, "Oh my God, big," whatever. And then, whatever, the next day, it's like I gotta they're updating me on every run that's scored in spring training games. I can't Like, why is it, I can't do this every single spring training run.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, Juan Soto hit a home run in his first at bat as a Met. I can't do this anymore. This is terrible.
Yeah, you can't get updates in spring training. You can't get push notifications during spring training. It's because none of it matters. Like especially like win losses, they couldn't be less relevant because you're just rotating guys out just to give people at bats. Guys that'll never see a second of play time on the actual team once the regular season starts. Those guys are getting at bats. It's all invites and stuff like that. So it's not worth keeping up. It's not. It's something to watch live because you're just watching baseball and that's, the experience itself. But getting notifications on it, it's complete irrelevance. But
so you're trying to go like during spring
wanna...
training then? Sorry, or
yeah.
Before we okay. So that'd be,
yeah,
I guess sometime in March.
Yeah. Spring training is for like the next 4.5 weeks. Well, season starts in 4.5 weeks. 4 weeks from Thursday, the Major League Baseball U.S. season will start. I don't know if there's international games somewhere else in the Cockles of March. Always possible, international games.
Cockles of March.
But, what I was going to say is, we can end with this, is yesterday I went to a surprise birthday party. Have you been to a surprise birthday party where someone has been surprised?
I don't know. I feel like we sort of broached this once about how you might hate it. I think the closest, I'm going to say, not that I can remember, I was sort of surprised. I was surprised when during a Say It Loud Fair City Fire podcast once on my birthday. I forgot how we went on a thing about it. I forgot what my take was, and I don't have to give it now, but what happened? I don't remember. Okay. I guess basically. Yeah.
So I forget about one part of a surprise party is like, unless you are the direct connection to the surprisee, like you're the person throwing the party or something.
Oh God.
Like, I forget that you're going to have people that you have no idea who they are and stuff, and it's at like someone's home or something like that. But like, you're hanging out, like parties in general are pretty weird because you're hanging out with the people that you know, and you're not sure when it's okay to start like introducing yourself to other people because you're like, I'm at a party and we're at a common bond. So like, it's not like I'm in public talking to someone. We should all feel more comfortable talking to someone random at a party. Would you agree? Like that should feel like an open door of I'm able to talk to anyone here
if you're at the same
lives. Like
event. Yeah.
So but it doesn't. It's weird because like, what is the icebreaker that lets you start talking to him? Like, cause you don't want to walk up and be like, hey, how's it going? I'm Jeff. Oh, how do you know so and so? And it's like,
that's the one, huh?
But that doesn't do anything. You need like. Do you go for the aspect of like overhear a topic and like maybe like nod to it, like kind of how like they do it in comedy sketches? You'll often see like the guy walk over and someone starts laughing and the person just tries laughing along with them.
Yeah.
But like that kind of is an exaggeration of what we do sometimes. Like the biggest ones, easiest ones are music and sports. If someone says like, oh, did you watch the hockey game on Thursday? I think it's okay that if you're within earshot, you could be like, yo, that was a great game. And that's how you work into it. Mm-hmm. And you mention something. But if those opportunities don't arise, you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to seem standoffish or rude. Be like, but there's got to be, you need that right opening. Or else, like, I don't know. Like, what other openings are there for you to talk to people you'd never talk to, you probably won't ever talk to again? Are there other social cues you need to follow in order to have those conversations?
Yeah, there's definitely also an element of like you get a little bit of beer courage, some of the inhibitions things that allow you to like open about other.
True.
It's like an RPG game where you unlock certain things that you didn't have before because you had a couple beers in and you're like, oh, I unlocked this dialogue option that I didn't have before, which is like, those pants are tight. Like one of those. Yeah, where do you get a pair like that? I want them. Like, where do you get them? And you're like, you realized you were like, oh shit, they think I'm being mean. And it's like, no, I want them for me. I don't know. It's
right.
sorry.
And then you're like, oh no, why is everyone getting weirded out? Why is she taking this wrong?
Yeah. No, yeah. Oh, you. I'm sure you have a boyfriend. You are very excellent looking, and those pants are still tight. I think, yeah, you like. I do like the jump in, like with enthusiasm, because I think you gotta be agreeable. Agreeable at first, I think.
Yes,
you're right.
Yeah, you can't be contradictory.
Yeah,
that's a terrible start.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, yeah. See, like, oh man, Paul McCartney, yeah, on SNL, like that was crazy. Like, yeah, he's been around for a long time. Oh yeah, I saw it. That sucked.
Right. Yeah.
The Beatles suck too. The Beatles are overrated. Like one of those guys. Okay, all right.
The very first things you say to people.
Yeah, like one of those. There are people like that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So did you have some elements of success? I mean, I'm with you. You join in, you link up with something like I like to overhear. I don't like to spy, but if you're in a group, I try to like do a group merge, or if I'm talking to somebody, like see if it can amoeba, or whatever, like
sure.
Sort of like do a little asexual whatever, like grouping thing, and it makes it bigger. And
what was funny is that the thing that brought most people together was there was a massive game of LCR that just started happening, the dice rolling party game. So gambling, in true spirit of gambling brought everyone together, from ages like 13 or no wait, actually there were small children playing. I think the youngest was probably like 5. From 5 to like 80, there was people playing LCR. So really harmonious gambling event. But you also, like, when you're doing stuff like that, like if someone does something incorrectly and it's a friendly game, who has to speak up to interject and be like, no, you can't do that? Like, because if you're a random stranger,
I know.
See, like, that's hard for me because I am a rule. Like, you need to play by the rules of the game. And they started like saying rules, and I corrected the person who was trying to teach the game, and I don't think she took too kindly to it. But I'm like, well, just don't be the one that explains the rules if you're going to be fucking terrible at it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, do you want to know? Wait, are you talking about the real rules, or do you have your own house rules? No, I'm just asking. I'm just like, if you want to know the real rules, I know what they are.
It's fine if you have house rules, but you should indicate that those are not the standard rules. Like, yeah, that's exactly how I am, and it's almost like, listen, if you want to be wrong, that's fine, but you're not going to be wrong and not hear about it from me. That's who I am as a person.
So friends were made, you're saying?
I don't think so. No, I would say I left with the same amount. I didn't lose any, so that's always a positive. But yeah, I'd say there was no branching out really to be done.
Was there a true surprise? Were you there for it?
I was. The honoree came late by about 30 minutes or so, we think.
Oh, good.
But there was a thwarting because there wasn't a plan played out. So anyway, we have a lookout. He's like, all right, he's coming. So the lights go out. And the honoree opened up the door like slowly and like peeked his head in.
Oh no.
He thought he was meeting his girlfriend and his kids. Like, he was supposed to stop at the house and then like go somewhere else or whatever. He thought the small family was going to surprise him. Because the lights were off. And he goes, the lights are always on in the house. It threw me off.
Like he had to play pretend for his kids, like surprise.
Right. And so I'm like, see, someone didn't do simple research. I go, that's a simple research thing. You can't, because I thought of that when they were turning off the lights. I go, well, wait, is the situation that the lights would be off? Because if that's not the situation, then you can't turn off the lights because it changes the norm. So, again, he was very appreciative. The alcohol made the love flowing for Larry. He was very happy about it. But, like, in my mind, I'm like, see, this could have been done better. We didn't research, should the lights be on or off? You can't just see it. You turned off the lights because that's what you see in sitcoms. I'm like, that's why you did it. I'm like, instead of doing the research, like, he's not coming home from work or like, so that part was a little disappointing, even though it had nothing to do with anything. Everything turned out fine. In my brain, I was sad because I felt like it could have gone better. I'm not even sure it's anyone's at fault, but I'm upset that it could have gone better because surprise parties don't often happen, and it's like you want good execution. The party was
sounds
fun.
like you approached the surprise party the right way.
No, I didn't.
Tactile.
I didn't.
And,
yeah, that's the problem.
Got to debrief. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not built for surprise parties because I'm too over analytical about the whole process.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Larry, did you have fun?
You're not going to leave
Yeah.
the lights off, are you?
Right. Larry, did you have fun? Yeah. Did you expect people to throw you a party tonight? No, I didn't. Yeah, but like, wouldn't you have wanted it to be a little bit more surprising?
Yeah.
Everything was fantastic.
I told somebody. I
Couldn't
told
have
somebody
been
about
fantasticer. Right. Like, so it's completely silly and nonsensical because it was fun. He had fun, and that's what matters.
Fantastic. Speaking of, my birthday is in a month, so if anybody wants to surprise me, I consider me surprised. I should surprise myself.
And one last thing, not that she would listen, but I'm sorry for sending my card late to my niece, whose birthday is coming up this week. By the time the episode comes out, her birthday will have passed, and my card will not get to her in time, even though I thought about it the entire week, getting a card and mailing it out. I did not pull it off. It would have had to have gone out yesterday morning. So yeah, my card's going to be late. That's the worst part about trying to get people gifts is time is of the essence, and I failed that.
Well, she will be our listener of the week, all right? And she will enjoy, what a gift to her, in an episode that will likely be called The Cockles of March. Hope she listens to the whole thing. Happy birthday,